Hey guys, can you get a girlfriend if you're in a wheelchair? Of course you can. In this video, I'm going to give you 10 tips for dating with a disability and interabled relationships. If you're new to my channel, my name is Anna Jorgensen. I'm a dating coach for men in Vancouver, Canada. Welcome. Some of the thoughts you've probably had if you're in a chair is, why would she want me when she could have an able-bodied man who's not in a chair? You might also think about what other people might think of you if you're in a relationship with someone. And you might even consider how she would feel about potential health consequences of you being in the chair, as well as physical differences, potentially sexual differences, whether or not you can have kids, and other things like that. Now, these are all natural questions to have, of course, but the main thing to note is that if you have a perceived limitation about your condition, that is going to be the primary factor in whether or not you get a girlfriend, because it's really our confidence that is the most important when we are looking for a mate or when we're able to attract a mate. So how can you be more confident? The first tip, just the tip, is to not allow your condition or your disability to become your entire identity. It's just a part of your life. It's not your whole life. It may seem like that, and yes, maybe many different things are going to be different, but that doesn't mean it's everything about who you are. It's not your entire identity, and you need to not make it your entire identity, or that's the only thing you're going to focus on, and it will become a limitation because of that. So that brings me to number 2, and that is basically to love yourself and date yourself first. So you've got to take care of yourself before you're able to really bring somebody else into your world that is going to be able to complement your world and that you can complement her world. So make sure that your health is as good as it can be for where you're at, and that includes your mental health as well. The other thing is that when you take care of yourself and have a life first, then you can come up with things to do with a potential partner. So you're not relying on your partner to have to try and create events or activities or things to do together, because you already know what you can do. So you can invite her into your world and she can partake in some of the things that you can do that you already know. Number 3 is that you are going to get rejected. Just like every other guy, whether or not he's in a chair, is going to get rejected. Rejection is just part of the dating process. You're going to approach some girls and they're not going to want you. Don't assume it's because of the chair. So you're going to work on the things that you can work on that women are interested in and that will improve your own life regardless. And I've done another video on that. So do what you can to improve yourself so that you're happy, and don't assume that the rejection is because of the chair. Otherwise, you're just going to get bitter about that. The fourth thing is that women are not as visually impacted or as visually influenced by appearance as men think we are. Yes, of course, we notice the Chads and Tyrones of the world, but that doesn't mean we all want to be with them. If a woman is really young and fertile or slutty, then she's going to probably want to be with that kind of person. But are you looking for someone that's shallow? If you're not looking for someone that's shallow, you don't have to worry about those girls anyway. So just realize that women are not as shallow when it comes to looks as you think we are. Number 5, realize that there's going to be questions. So if you can be open about the questions she's going to have and give her the information in a way that's very casual and not feel put off by answering those questions, then you're going to be able to have a much more comfortable conversation, and you'll also be able to discover the deal breakers and the deal makers that could be influenced by the chair. Like, yes, you're going to need to talk about whether or not you can have sex. You're going to need to talk about whether or not you can have children, if these things are important to your potential partner. So it's better to talk about the deal breakers and deal makers sooner than later. And if you are open about having those kinds of conversations and not defensive about questions, then she can be open and you can both find out about each other sooner than later. Tip number 6. You're going to have to realize that some people are not going to be accepting or supportive of your relationship, but you need to choose each other first. If you can educate other people about why you want to be together, then go ahead and do that. But some people are simply closed-minded and you're not going to be able to convince them, and you're going to have to determine up front that you are going to be a team together and you're going to choose each other over what other people think, whether it's family or friends or strangers, it doesn't matter. It's you two against the world if need be. And you may end up losing friends because of it. This sometimes happens. Well, guess what? Those are not the friends you need to have in your life anyways. Choose new friends who are supportive of your relationship. Which brings me to number 7. Don't limit yourself because of what other people think or say or suggest to you. You're going to live your life as adventurously as you so choose, and you're going to do that together. So again, it's just about not allowing other people to be an influence on your life, not just in terms of your relationship, but in terms of the way you live your life. So if you want to do something adventurous like skydiving or taking a road trip, or, well, to me that's adventurous, or whatever it might be, don't limit yourself because of the chair or because of what other people might think. As long as you two together are on board with wanting to do whatever that activity is, then go for it. Tip number 8 is to continue working on your autonomy. In other words, your independence. So a couple of reasons why you want to do this is because it's always more satisfying in life if we can do for ourselves whatever we can. It allows us to feel less needy and dependent, but at the same time, keeping in mind that there may be some things that just make sense for the other person to help you with because it's more efficient to do things with the help of another person. So you will need to discuss which things you want help with and which things that you'd like to be able to do on your own. And that way, if you can have those frank discussions, Frank, Susie, if you can have those open, direct discussions about what areas you would appreciate help in and what areas you really want to be able to do for yourself in, then you won't feel like you're a burden to your partner, and they won't feel like they have to read your mind about what you might need to be able to help you without offending you. And that actually brings me to the next point, number 9, is that things will be different, but not necessarily always difficult. Initially, when you are getting into a relationship with someone who's an able-bodied person, and if you're in a chair, then things are going to be different in the real world in terms of practicalities, like driving or getting in and out of a vehicle, or the time it takes to get ready in the morning, or various other things. But that doesn't mean that they have to be difficult. Initially, to learn anything new, it's going to take some time, but that doesn't mean it's always going to be a challenge. It just means it might take more time to, 1, learn how to do the thing, and then 2, accommodate the extra time required to do the thing in the future. So that way you can work together as a team. Just like in any other relationship, there's going to be things that you need to work together as a team to get through because we're all different in some ways. And then tip number 10 is on where to meet women. So if you're in a chair, you can actually meet women at a lot of the same places that you would meet women if you're not in a chair. I mean, if you don't have an ability to ski, sometimes there's ways of actually doing that if you're really ingenuitive or creative, but maybe you don't have a desire to ski. Someone like me would never meet people on a ski hill because I don't ski. So don't feel like you're going to be limited on where you can actually meet people just because you're in a chair. And then finally, a bonus tip is that no matter who you are, you're going to meet people with baggage. You have baggage, maybe it's because of the chair. Other people have baggage because of other things in their life, but don't assume it's just because of the chair, and don't use the chair as an excuse to become a victim in your own mind. So you'll have things to work on and work through in a relationship just like anybody else will, but don't fall back on using the chair as an excuse to allow your relationships to fall apart or to self-sabotage yourself. And if you need help with that, then of course my Wake Up to Love program will help you get through the baggage that you may be carrying, whether it's because of the chair or because of family stuff or because of whatever. And it will also help you become the best you that you can be regardless of the chair. So if you're interested in that, I'll put a link below and hopefully that will help you out. And because I'm not an expert in this, I'd like to give a shout out to two channels, Wheels to Walking and Adapted Adventures, because I did do some homework before shooting this video. So if you are in a chair, or if you've dated somebody in a chair, what I'd like to know from you if there are any other tips that I've missed that would help people who are dating and have some kind of a disability that might be holding them back from getting out in the world and meeting their special someone. Let me know in the comments. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.